Good Monday, everyone, and welcome to Conversation Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, it's a brand new day, it's a brand new week, and that means it's a brand new opportunity for you to do something amazing, and it all begins right now. Of course, you have your news headlines coming up on this Monday with a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. And in today's Entertainment Spotlight, you heard my conversation with Lindsay Powers of Amazon Books. It is National Book Month, and Lindsay shares with us how they came up with their list of best books so far this year. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Monday headlines. In international news, Putin calls Kerch Bridge attack a terrorist attack by Kyiv. Russian President Vladimir Putin on Sunday called the attack that damaged the huge bridge connecting Russia to its annexed territory of Crimea a terrorist act masterminded by Ukrainian special services. The Kerch Bridge, which holds important strategic and symbolic value to Russia in its faltering war in Ukraine, was hit a day earlier by what Moscow has said was a truck bomb. Road and rail traffic on the bridge were temporarily halted, damaging a vital supply route for the Kremlin's forces. There's no doubt it was a terrorist act directed at the destruction of critically important civilian infrastructure of the Russian Federation, Putin said during a meeting with the chairman of Russia's investigative committee, and the authors, perpetrators, and those who ordered it were the special services of Ukraine, he added. The chairman of the investigative committee said Ukrainian special services and citizens of Russia and other countries took part in the attack. He said a criminal investigation had been launched into the act of terror. We have already established the route of the truck, he said, saying it had to be Bulgaria, Georgia, Armenia, and another region in southern Russia. In Kyiv, the presidential advisor called Putin's accusation too cynical even for Russia. Putin accuses Ukraine of terrorism, he said. It has not even been 24 hours since Russian planes fired 12 rockets into a residential area, killing 13 people and injuring more than 50. No, there's only one state terrorist, and the whole world knows who it is. The leader referred to missile strikes on the city of Zaporizhzhia overnight that brought down part of a large apartment building. The 6 missiles were launched from the Russian-occupied areas of the Zaporizhzhia region, the Ukrainian Air Force said. The region is one of 4 Russia claimed as its own this month, though its capital of the same name remains under Ukrainian control. Russia has suffered a series of setbacks nearly 8 months after invading Ukraine in a campaign many thought will be short-lived. In recent weeks, Ukrainian forces have staged a counteroffensive, retaking areas in the south and east, while Moscow's decision to call up more troops has led to protests and an exodus of hundreds of thousands of Russians. Recent fighting is focused on the regions just north of Crimea. The Ukrainian President Zelensky lamented the latest attack. Again Zaporizhzhia, he said. Again merciless attacks on civilians, targeting residential buildings in the middle of the night, he wrote. In national news, Biden preaches patience to voters spooked by economic tumult. When it comes to reassuring Americans about an economy that's an election year challenge for his party, President Joe Biden is telling the country to hold on. It's a message of patience as voters are buffeted by persistent inflation, fears of a recession, and the prospect of rising energy prices in the closing weeks of the campaign season when they will determine the fate of vulnerable Democrats in control of Congress. The $25 trillion plus economy is veering its 2 radically different directions. Growth has fallen for 2 straight quarters, raising the specter of recession. But job gains have rolled on, including 263,000 more jobs in September as a sign of economic health. Nonetheless, the latest jobs report sent stocks plummeting Friday on renewed worries that the Fed Reserve will have to continue aggressive interest rate increases to temper rising consumer prices. Biden argued that the newest numbers are solid and have slowed in recent months in a way that points toward inflation easing. Major oil-producing countries led by Saudi Arabia and Russia dealt him a disappointment with their decision last week to cut production, but the U.S. government forecasts that domestic output should increase by an average of roughly 840,000 barrels a day next year. In more national news, the Associated Press says telemedicine was made easy during COVID-19, but not anymore. Telemedicine exploded in popularity after COVID-19 hit, but limits are returning for care delivered across state lines. That complicates follow-up treatments for some cancer patients. It also can affect other types of care, says the Associated Press, including mental health therapy and routine doctor check-ins. In business news, stocks lose more ground on fears a recession may be looming. Good news on the economy remains bad news for Wall Street, as stocks fell sharply Friday on worries a still strong U.S. jobs market may actually make a recession more likely. The S&P 500 ended 2.8% lower after briefly dropping 3.3% as traders weighed a government report showing employers hired more workers last month than economists expected. And finally, in entertainment news, Amsterdam and Lao Lao struggle, letting Smile repeat. They made the top 5 movies over the weekend. Number 1, Smile, with $18 million. Number 2, Lao Lao Crocodile, with $12 million. Number 3, Amsterdam, with $7 million. Number 4, The Woman King, with $5 million. And number 5, Don't Worry, Darling, with $4 million. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. Enjoy. Good Monday, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Words I Choose to Live By. Tell yourself this: I can, I will, I was created by the best and intended for the best. Nothing in this world can keep me from what is meant for me. I am meant for greatness. Have an amazing Monday. Lindsay Powers is featured in today's Entertainment Spotlight. We're here on Conversations Daily News. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with Entertainment Spotlight. Lindsay Powers of Amazon Books joined me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about their 2022 best books so far. Here's a bit of our conversation.
First of all, what was it like for you guys to be able to share this list with the world this year, Lindsay?
Well, the Amazon Book Review team, we're super excited to present it, and we joke that we came to it by good old-fashioned fighting. We really, we read thousands of books to narrow down the top 20 so far, of course, published before the end of June. And we have a couple of prerequisites before we come to it. We want wonderful writing is number one. It has to be great from the first page to the last page. And we really want books that are going to tell a compelling story, and that as soon as you finish the last page, you're going to pick up your phone and call a friend, text a friend, just books that we really can't stop talking about.
And Lindsay, this list is really diverse as well. As I mentioned, Saba's book as well as Neil's book,
right.
2 totally different genres, for sure. How much fun was that for you guys to bring your own love of variety to this list, too?
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, there's 9 of us on the team. We each kind of specialize in nonfiction or mystery, thrillers, and suspense, or literary fiction, but we all read so widely, and we all just champion books from different writers and different stories. And 6 of the top 10 authors are debut authors, which we thought was so cool. And also, of the top 10 authors, all are women, which was fascinating to us because we certainly did not set out to do that. That just happened to be how it shook out after we kind of finished our debates and fighting. And even though, of course, they're all for women, there's really, they're not just books for women. These are books that I think will relate to so many different people and readers.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning into this edition of Conversations Daily News. We'll be back on tomorrow with more news, message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By, and of course, your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Now let's go make it a great one.